Welcome to the Two Vits Talking Shit, I think is what we're calling it.
I think so. Sounds good to me.
Yep. I'm Michael Vitt. Um,
A-
and
And I'm
you,
Mike Vitt.
Mike Vitt.
I'm the dad.
He's the dad. I'm the son. We're
There you
just
go.
we're just two dudes who love sports, specifically
Yep.
football. And so we
Yep.
thought, hell, we talk every week for hours on end about football during the season
Yep.
when the season's not in session too. Why not
Yep.
record it and share it with the world and share it with ourselves? Really, that's what we're doing it for the most part. Keeping these memories
That's what we're doing it
alive.
for.
Keeping these memories
We're,
alive.
we're doing it for ourselves. I think for the most part.
Yeah,
But
we're being selfish,
if
but
anybody else wants to listen,
feel free. I think you also have a secret personal reason for doing this, which is you've watched sports talk radio or listened to sports talk radio, watched sports talk shows your whole life, and
I have.
you frequently will tell me when we talk sports during the week that nobody knows what the hell they're talking about.
Now, to be fair, there are people out there who do, and I don't mean to say nobody knows what they're talking about. People have gotten to where they're at
Yeah.
for good reason because
Uh-huh.
they do. But I do frequently point out that it would seem that during our conversations, we tend to know. I do, at least in some instances, know a little bit more in depth than even what's being said on the TV, which boggles my mind quite frequently about some of the things that are said. And so I have.
Mm-hmm.
Now, also to be fair, that was in our private conversations. I don't know that I was ready to let the world know that, but hey, here we are.
My
We're going
bad.
to see if what we can do here. But really, I think it goes back for me is you and I. We do discuss football on a weekly basis at great lengths,
Yeah.
and I figured, you know what, if we could get some of this out and share some of this and record it, I thought it'd be just kind of cool to do and have fun and see where it goes.
Yeah,
see what happens.
yeah. I mean, I'm excited to do it. I really am, and I feel like we've talked about doing this for like years at this point, but
Yeah, we have.
I'm finally at that position where like I'm just like screw it, let's do it, and let's make it happen. So we're doing it.
Let's do it. Let's
If you
jump right
haven't
into it.
noticed, I'm a Lions fan, and
I'm a Raiders fan.
he's a Raiders fan. We don't need to get into the details of how we're not fans of the same team, but
But hey, let me interject. I'm actually gonna step on that right there, and I'll
Okay.
say this: I've been a Raiders fan my entire life from birth, essentially.
okay,
And I became a Lions fan when you declared your
that I was going to be a
fandom
Lions
to
fan.
them, and I would say probably that was in your 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, somewhere around in that age
Yeah,
group.
around there.
And at the time, definitely was heartbreaking because I came home in Raiders jersey. You came home essentially in Raiders jersey and
Mhm.
outfit.
When I was
And so
born,
things
yeah.
didn't quite go as planned with regards to that. What I'll say as a parent, on the
Uh-huh.
parent side of me, is that parents parent kids, and we try to give everything we can and teach them. And at
Mhm.
some point, kids, in this case, you in this relationship,
Yeah.
start to sort of teach parents, and we sort of meld those things together. So I have now
Uh-huh.
been a Lions fan for the better part of 15 years or so now.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so I
Mhm.
will on this podcast. Obviously, for the first one, we're going to wear what our initial teams are.
Yeah.
But I do have quite a bit of
You got some
Lions
Lions gear. You do.
gear as well, and I will be adding some more this year, probably in the next couple weeks. And we'll get into that maybe later on in a different pod.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, definitely you'll see some mixed messages from me because I do have allegiance now to both teams, and I blame
Mhm.
that on you, sir. I do
Well,
blame that on you. So
Listen, when I was young, I had the option. I had the Raiders or the Lions, and the
Mhm.
Lions at the time had Matthew Stafford and Megatron, and the
True.
Raiders had
Well, that's the
who
problem.
knows?
We don't really have anything to remember back then. Yeah, so
Exactly.
that's fair enough.
And so
That's fair enough.
I picked the Lions, and they had like 2 to 3, maybe 4 or 5 years of like mediocre, and a couple years they were like, we went to the playoffs, yippee. And the Raiders didn't do any of that. And so when my option are dog shit or they're okay, I went with the are okay. Now
Okay.
the Lions, top 3 team in the NFL in my opinion, and the Raiders, I think, are a team that has been rebuilding for 20 plus years.
They're top 3 or 4 in their conference or in their division.
In their division.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say they're
in the
top 3 or 4 in their
Yeah,
division, yeah.
top 3 or 4 in the
I
division
would
they
say
are. Yeah,
I
we
would say
got that.
top 16 in their conference. So, better than half the league, maybe, if you think about it that way.
Okay, fair enough.
But no, I do think the Raiders are a team that are on their rebuild, are finally at that point where the rebuild is not a rebuild anymore, and I think it's going to solidify into, hey, we're a team that exists again. But this is your team. Let me know about them, I'm sure you got a lot to say about their offseason, and I'm excited to hear.
So as we always do go into these seasons, and starting off with this podcast, I don't have a whole ton. I will highlight a couple things that are the highlights. Obviously, I feel a lot better about the coaching regime that's come in. I've been sort of following Pete Carroll since USC days, since that's where where I'm originally from, you as well. So that heyday of the USC in that early 2000s, mid 2000s there. So there's that. I do like the direction we're going with the new staff. Geno Smith this year, obviously far better than what we've had in quite a few years. Probably going back to the jersey that I'm wearing now, the number 12, Rich Gannon, as far as quarterback wise. Drafting Genty this year. I'm super excited about that. We got Amari Cooper back in the building. So we have some things that are exciting about it. Definitely the last 10 years, coaching wise, has been tough. The number of quarterbacks in the building has been tough. So to have, Geno Smith, who I think is a good quarterback, not an elite, but definitely in the good category, B category, certainly. Middle to middle upper of the NFL as far as quarterbacks go. But really, I just like the general direction as a whole. So I'm excited to see how the season goes. Obviously, I affectionately called Josh McDumbass. And it was painful to watch.
Yes, sir.
So that was those are some dark days, and so I'm just excited, sort of, about the direction of the team. And as I always say, this time of the year, it is the best time of the year for any fan. We all know that. We just don't know. We don't know yet. So hopes and dreams are being built. Yeah, we can talk a lot of shit to our family and friends who are not fans of our teams. So we'll check back in a few weeks to see how exactly if that direction is going where I would like it to go. But certainly, much more optimism than has had in quite a few years.
I mean, I like the Raiders a lot. I think, were the Raiders the fourth in their division at the end of last season?
Yes.
Yeah. Of all of the teams that got last place in their division last year, I feel like the Raiders have taken the biggest step up. Like, generally. Their coaching staff's completely different. I think bringing the new quarterback in is great. Your draft was wonderful, in my opinion, especially with Genty at where you guys got him. I think that was awesome. And you also have, which I don't know how you feel about this, but you have a new veteran advisor in the building, Tom Brady. I don't know how you feel about him, but he is in the building, and that might actually be doing something for you guys. I don't know how you think about Tom Brady being there and interacting with the team, especially isn't he an NFL announcer, like, officially? Like, isn't he not allowed to do that?
Nope. They actually, just this last week, that actually came out that they've actually approved that he is able to.
Okay.
I think I'm pretty sure, I'd have to look a little closer.
The Tom Brady rule.
But I'm pretty sure the Tom Brady rule.
The Tom Brady rule, number 6 or 7 at this point.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So he's allowed to be part, but I think there is a limit on what he's allowed to do within those buildings.
Okay.
Yeah, but he does have far more access than last year, as I understand it. All he was allowed to do last year was take the secondhand information from the people who were allowed to go into the buildings,
and
that's how he has to.
But now he can be involved.
His game plan.
Okay.
Yeah. So now his availability is significantly more.
I love it. I mean, you guys are just genuinely, like, I think your run game is going to be phenomenal. I think Genty's going to be a killer running back. Plus, he's on a rookie contract, so you're not gonna have to pay him for the next 5 years. You have Brock Bowers, who is the best tight end in the league, in my opinion, hands down. And that's just offensively. I mean, I'm not going to talk about your wide receiver room right now because I think that's a little bit more shaky than most. But
that's rough.
I think that, and then defensively, like, I don't think you guys got much worse than last year, and you guys were pretty solid last year, in my opinion. I mean, I don't think you guys were like amazing.
A little bit,
but like,
we made a move this week. We got McCollum from the Bills.
Yeah,
who should help us out a little bit. It's more of a still a work in progress. That's why I said really it's about the excitement of the front office and the coaching staff and the building.
Yeah.
If you look at sort of the division, since you brought it up, Harbaugh got to the Chargers last year
Hmm.
and has done, some things that are
Tremendous work.
changing. And then you had Peyton with the Broncos 3 years ago. Now this is coming into his third season.
Yeah, but I wouldn't
So that's
really.
also,
I
and
would consider
then,
last season being his first real year with his
yeah,
players.
and then Andy's been in Kansas City, who hadn't had anything in Kansas City for years and years till he got there. So now the last 5, 6 years now.
Yep.
So really, when you just look at sort of how the divisions change, it's through the same sort of way that the Raiders have done, which is bringing in a Hall of Fame coach.
Yep.
Unfortunately, if you look at it,
4 Hall
it
of
is
Fame
4
coaches in that division.
Hall of Fame coaching and staffs. Yeah. So
Yep.
I think, to put a bow on the Raiders, maybe for today, we can just look at it. I think I told you a couple weeks ago, I think the Raiders are a 10 win team, anywhere between 9 and 11.
Confident.
I think we could be as low as 8.
Okay.
If it's for a tough one.
You're saying
and I think we could pick up, and I think we could have as many as 11.
Okay.
However, in the division, I don't think that gets us higher. I mean, that might.
Yeah. Your division's
but
the best division in the AFC, and there's an argument that there's better divisions in the NFC, but by far, I think it's the most competitive division in the AFC.
Yeah.
Not
so
best, most competitive, right? Because there's some teams that are better or
That's
worse,
fair.
right? But
that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, your floor is 500, and you're saying your ceiling is a little bit higher.
11 wins. I think 11 wins. I think 10's. I think 10's a fair number.
I think about there is probably right too. I think every team you're going to play that's out of your division, you're probably going to fare a lot better against, because you're playing a bunch of 4th seeded team or bottom of the division teams, and you guys are improved. And I think every team in your division is going to be a tough game. I will say, speaking of being excited about a new coaching staff, similar thing happened with my team about 3 years ago, right? 3 or 4 years ago.
Yep.
Lions brought in a new organization, and our first season sucked. I'm not gonna lie. Our first season was the worst, season of my life up until we won one game, and then we looked a lot better, and it started to look up a lot more. But yeah, it's nice, and the Lions have had a lot of changes over the last 4 years. I'm just gonna bring up the couple that happened this offseason. Number one, Aiden Hutchinson's back finally. He's good to go.
Yeah.
All reports are saying that Hutch is looking better than he did beforehand. I think it's funny to see the reports during the offseason practices saying that they had to remove Aiden Hutchinson from plays or let plays keep going because he would sack the quarterback every play. That's nice, unless, you're the opposing team. Outside of that, not much has changed for the Lions. I mean, two coordinators gone, 2 new coordinators in, right? Which
So you're saying that 2 new coordinators is not much.
Okay, pause. Sorry, a lot's changed on that end. Everything else has been very small. We didn't make many off-season moves. Genuinely. Lions have not done much, really.
For on the field stuff?
Yeah, I mean, really, not much has changed. We dropped a couple players that were key pieces, but they were, 3rd string, 4th string guys. We picked up a couple new guys. I mean, we didn't rebuild our D-line very much. We just kind of stuck with what we had, which is what the biggest thing was. And our draft was very, typical of what our drafts have been in the last 4 years, which is we're not drafting for what we need, we're drafting for what we like, Yeah. So going into the season, I can't be like, oh, I'm mad that we didn't do what people think we should do, because over the last 4 years, we've gotten better and better every year. So, outside of these 2 new coordinator changes, which are very scary to a lot of people, nothing has really changed. And, losing Ben Johnson is what a lot of people think is a big hit. And I agree. I think our offensive coordinator leaving, who is the superstar of offenses in the league, sucks. But he's coaching the Bears, and I don't think personally he's going to be a great head coach. Now,
interesting.
We can talk about that later, but in terms of how it affects the Lions, I think John Morton, our new OC, is going to do fine. He's worked with Dan Campbell in the past. I don't think he's going to be Ben Johnson magical, but
he's been in the league. He's been around the league a long time.
He's been in the league a long time, and I think most people are scared that he's going to turn the offense into a very boring and typical offense. I think when you have as many weapons as you have, you can't make it boring. And, we're going to take a step back, but like give it a couple weeks and I think we'll be fine again. When it comes to defense, Aaron Glenn leaves to be the head coach of the Jets, which I loved. I like that decision. And I think his replacement's honestly going to be great. First year defensive coordinator, first year in a big coordinator position, Kelvin Shepard. I loved Kelvin Shepard as our linebackers coach. And when Aaron Glenn left, that was the guy that I wanted them to hire. He's got energy, and I think he's more aggressive. And I just think he's going to be more of a like culture, like fit with the culture, and the defense that he's going to run is going to be way more aggressive and way more punch your mouth than Glenn's defense was. So I'm happy. I like it. I think Aaron Glenn.
Let me ask you. Or go ahead.
I think Aaron Glenn leaving was good, genuinely.
Okay.
You have a question? This is scary.
Well, no, easy question. I just wanted to bring back the strength of the Lions last year. They had a lot of strengths. They have a lot of really good players.
Not many weaknesses. Yeah.
On the field strength, offensive line,
heavy.
Did lose to retirement.
Ragnow.
The anchor, and the heartbeat of that offensive line. So interested in your thoughts on that briefly, because you don't seem like you think there's much loss, and I think I gotta be honest, that's a big one.
I also don't see that as a big loss. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So
how's that?
Frank Ragnow's replacement is Graham Glasgow, who is a guard who's now transitioned to the center while we bring a rookie up to be a center, I think. Graham Glasgow has also been in the league for a very long time. He's a veteran. The entire offensive line loves him. He's really solid. He was the backup. When Frank Ragnow went out, he played for Frank Ragnow, and they did perfectly fine. I think if we had lost, Decker and Sewell, and like we really like our whole line fell apart, it would have been a problem. But we lost Zietler, who was a 1-year offensive lineman that we brought in, and we lost Ragnow. Ragnow's been replaced with Graham Glasgow, who I think is really solid. Penne and Decker are still, sitting on the sides of our line, holding strong. Yeah. And I think the rest of our line, it's a lot of younger guys who are really good. I think Ratledge is going to be great. I cannot think of the other names at the time because they've been injured or so on, but I think our line's fine. Like, genuinely.
And Skip's still on the team, right?
Skip is still on the Lions. He is a practice squad player.
He can still come in and check in to play tight end as long as he checks in.
And catch touchdown passes? Yes. Skip can do that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, well,
he's a practice squad player, so we have to elevate him. But, yeah.
I was putting too much stock into Ragnow.
I think, when you think about the strengths of the Lions, Ragnow was really, really good. But, like, we still have Penne, who is by far the best offensive lineman in the league. We still have Decker, who's a proven, veteran lineman who has done great work his whole career. Glasgow's the same, and we've got some really solid pieces to help back him up. So I'm not worried about it at all. Okay. And everything else, I'm not worried about either. Unless 40 players want to get injured again this year, I think we'll be fine. But, you can't tell anymore. We might lose our whole defense this year instead of just our defensive line. So, yeah.
Yikes.
Yep. I mean, I don't think we need to talk much more about our own personal teams.
No.
Although there is some big news that regards the Lions. Mr. Micah Parsons was traded to the Green Bay Packers, which is going to affect my team a little bit.
Sure, I guess we can get into that. It was a hot topic.
I mean, my base thoughts on it are, I think the Dallas Cowboys actually won in this trade.
So you're buying into the press conference where Jerry says that that's actually what he wanted?
Oh, I think Jerry didn't want Micah Parsons to leave, but he's going to have to say that. I think the Dallas Cowboys won that trade because with or without Micah Parsons, they were going to suck. So,
yeah.
I mean, with Micah Parsons last year, they sucked. I think getting 2 first-round picks and a player out of it, and you're dropping a really costly contract is really nice for a team that needs to go from sucking to being decent, in the next couple of years. They're not trying to be the best team in the league. They need to just rebuild off of their shit show, they lost other crucial pieces of their team this year too. So, and they've picked up some, but like I just think the Cowboys are better off without him. And I think the Cowboys are worse off with him, in my opinion. Or not the Packers are worse off with him. But what are your thoughts? You know, how do you feel about this?
Well, it doesn't affect me as far as my team all that much.
No.
My brief thoughts and feelings on it are hopefully that we can stop talking about Dallas as much, since they dominate the headlines and all the networks that are all contractually obligated to talk about them as their lead story every day. So hopefully that'll die down a little bit. Probably not. They'll come up with something else.
Nope.
As far as where he went, I know that, I had actually called you the day of the trade or text you in the morning and suggested that prior to any of this happening, that the Lions maybe take a run at him.
Yes. Which I was
feeling is
happy
that
with.
whoever was going to get him needed to be somebody who's going to think that they were going to compete for the championship, go to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl this year or maybe next year.
Yeah.
Because of what it's going to cost them and sort of how it's going to hurt them. In the case of Green Bay giving 2 first-round picks, their D tackle, and all the money that they spent, they're going to be strapped for a little bit, for a year or two.
They're
at least.
Yeah.
At least. So it's really going to be costly for them if it doesn't pay off. And so that's sort of my thoughts on it. As far as how much money he's making, because there's a lot of talk about that. He was just the next guy up in line. Financially nowadays, the amount of money these guys are making, whatever somebody thinks about it, worth it or not, it's just the reality of the world. The money coming in for the NFL right now means that the amount of money that the teams have to spend is exponentially more than it's ever been year over year, every year. So he was just the next guy in line to make that kind of money. So it is what it is. I'm bummed. I'm bummed as a Lions fan that he's in the division, to be honest.
It's not great, but I mean, we can get into that too. Like, to get a little deeper into that specifically too. When it comes to Micah Parsons coming in and that D tackle, I don't remember his name. I hate to not name drop him, but I cannot.
I can't either.
But in all honesty, this is a big stat that people have been looking into the last couple of days, and I'm not saying I'm holding on to it, but Micah Parsons is a really great pass rusher. Super talented.
Absolutely.
Have you looked at his run game stats?
I mean, not so much.
They're terrible. They're not great by any means. They are terrible.
Yeah, that's fair.
And, when I look at the Lions offense, I don't see a pass-first offense. We've got the best running back duo in the league. And it's the basis of how we win football games, right?
Right.
So when I see Micah Parsons show up, I go, okay, well, if he can't stop the run, then we don't need to worry about the passing game, and that's how we've beaten the Packers in the past. Like that's how we do our thing. So I'm not worried about that really. And to touch on the money, the money of the matter is Jordan Love just signed a $220 million contract, and Micah Parsons just signed a $187 million contract.
188, I think, is
188. Both of those contracts were signed this year over the course of the next 4 years. So that's $100+ million a year going to two players on your roster. Yeah. In my opinion, that's crazy. Right?
Yeah. Well,
that's over a third of your roster. A third of your salary cap.
Yeah.
Is in two players. Even if the Packers fuck the Lions up this year, or, I still think both those teams are going to go to the playoffs. And ultimately, I think it's going to hurt the Packers in the long run. I don't think Micah Parsons is the player that's going to bring you to that, Yeah,
I think you're 100% right. Long term, you're right. Parsons was going to go to a team that thought that they were going to win in the next 1 to 3 years, because financially speaking, and you have the money side of it, right? You have the one side is the money, the other side is all the picks they gave away.
Yep.
And then what they gave away. And it's Kenny Clark's his name, the D tackle. But he's an aging D tackle. I think he's going to be 30 this year.
Yeah, he's
a bit already older. Yeah, so he's a bit older for the position. So, I mean, when you look at it, the Packers are really banking on that they're going to get what they need out of him, go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, whatever their whatever their end goal was, is in the next 1 to 3 years. Because you're right, they're not going to sign anybody else. They're not going to sign anybody. They don't have a lot of money to spend to sprinkle around the rest of the team.
They don't.
And now they don't have any first round picks for the next 2 years. So they're really banking on doing a la the Rams a couple years ago when they got Stafford. Obviously, Stafford's a quarterback.
Stafford's a way more important piece of that puzzle, in my opinion.
100% agree. The Packers obviously feel like Jordan Love has got that side of the ball taken care of with, because they do have JJ on that side of the ball that they paid.
Josh Jacobs.
He's got him under contract for a couple more years.
Too.
So they're really, and then their receivers are younger and still aren't paying them. So they're still kind of banking on that. So I think that's where it comes from. Time will tell. I do not think that they're going to get what they wanted out of it. I am in agreement with you. I don't know I don't know that I would say it makes them any worse, but long term though, I think it will end up setting them back and will be costly. So as a Lions fan, maybe the way, you're probably looking at it, I would be looking at it where it actually helps us in the long run. Because it's actually going to hurt them and take them out of contention. So
my team
I like that.
My
seems fair.
My team's front office has shown year after year that they're not playing for we're going to win this year. They're playing for we're going to build a long-standing dynasty, right? That's what they want to do. And the Packers did the thing that everybody's discussed at the end of every season since the Rams did it, in 2021, 2022, which is who is going to be the team that adopts that method next and drop everything to try and win it for a season, right?
Yep.
The Packers are the team that done it next, right? This is the team that's going to do it next, and I think the Rams got the best case scenario, which is we trade for a player, we win a Super Bowl, and we suffer for a couple years, and then we build back up, and that's what they're doing right now. I don't think the Packers are going to get what they want out of it.
I don't think so either.
This is take the Lions jersey off. I'm a completely just neutral person looking at it from the back. It's just Stafford in the quarterback position is completely different than Micah Parsons on defense. It just is.
100% agree.
And I agree. We'll see what happens, but I think it's going to not work out for the Packers. And maybe it will this year, but if they don't win a Super Bowl, I'm already considering it as it doesn't work out. So,
okay. All right, now we've fulfilled our Dallas Cowboys.
Now we've fulfilled the Dallas Cowboys quota. We can continue making this show now. The league won't come after us. We're good. We talked about the Cowboys a little bit.
Okay.
And we talked about them in a positive light, so they're good. Let's move on to, it is the first episode. It's preseason. We haven't gotten to the season yet. Let's move on to let's just do some predictions. Let's discuss how we feel about each division, where we think each division is going to go, and maybe we can talk about playoffs, but let's just talk straight divisions. I've got it up on my screen.
Okay.
Do you want to start NFC, AFC? Where do you want to go?
It doesn't matter. Let's go AFC.
All right,
we'll start in the AFC. You want to go through each division right quick and just sort of discuss briefly on what we got?
Yeah, let's do the divisions. We'll start nice and simple. Let's do the AFC East. Right? AFC East, we've got the Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Patriots. I'm going to start this off plain and simple. I love where the Jets are at. I think the Jets are another team that is starting off fresh with a new rebuild. They weren't the worst team in their division last year. They got third. But I think the Jets, with Aaron Glenn, had an already solid defense. Now they have a defensive-minded coach coming in. I think this year their defense is going to be better than it was last year. I think Justin Fields coming in is going to be a project, and if he doesn't work out this year, they should think about something new. But those are like the two big changes for me for the Jets was, new coach and bringing Justin Fields in. Let's see what they do. But I think they're going to be probably second or third in their division this year, followed by Bills being number 1. And then Patriots number 2 or 3, and Dolphins are definitely going to be the worst in my opinion. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
If you want to touch on the Patriots, because you've kind of given me your thoughts about them here and there a little bit. What do you think about the Patriots this year?
I honestly, that whole division to me is a toss up after the Bills. It really doesn't matter. The Bills own that division. They will as long as Josh Allen's there and with McDermott. and they just signed Cook this year.
Yep.
He got paid what he wanted to, so he's happy. So I don't see anybody even sniffing them at all.
No, not even close.
The Patriots obviously bringing back Vrabel to the squad. So
I like Vrabes.
The debacle of last year was just a holdover to give Vrabes that 1 year off that he wanted. Gave him his vacation. He probably called Kraft and said, "Hey, give me this 1 year off. I'll come back."
Yep.
So last year was
100%.
sort of a waste of a year for them. I'm not as high on you as on the Jets.
Yeah.
To sum it up, you said we'll see how it goes. That's sort of how I feel about it. I don't think Justin Fields is a starting quarterback in the NFL. So
yeah.
I think it'll just be another sort of wasted year. And the only thing that really makes them in third instead of fourth is that the shine's worn off of Miami.
Yeah.
And the head coach Mike over there, and
Mr. McDaniel.
His quirkiness was fun and it was exciting, and he came out of the McVay tree, and so he got it.
Bad news. Something got disconnected.
Tua is sort of a lower end starting quarterback on the right situation. That first year with Mike McDaniels, he did okay.
Yeah.
But and then so I just don't. I think Miami's going to fall off the wagon. I think that they'll change coaches and probably start a new direction this year.
Yeah,
so
I'm not
outside of the Bills. Outside of the Bills, I don't really have much. Really, I don't think they have much going on there.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I think quick discussion on the Bills is like, I think because of the division they've been in, they always look a lot better at the end of the season going into the postseason than they are. I mean, they're a super, super good team, but they have a very big issue, which is not being able to beat the best teams, right? They've not been to a Super Bowl since getting Josh Allen. McDermott has a very hard time winning in the playoffs. And, I think they're a lock for sure to go to the playoffs and to win their division. Are they going to go further than that? We'll see. After that, I agree. I think Dolphins, Jets, or Patriots can really go anywhere. I'm just high on the Jets. I like how the Jets look, and I really do think the Dolphins are just going to fall off a cliff this year.
It's going to take a lot I think it's going to take a lot for Mike McDaniels to save his job, to be honest.
They have to go to the playoffs, in my opinion. They have to save what they had. I mean, you can't go from the highest scoring, most electric team in the NFL 1 year to, wow, we suck, the next year. So we'll see what happens. But I think we both agreed. Bills top of the division, everybody else after. Let's move to the AFC North. How do you feel about that division? That's a big one, actually. There's going to be a lot going on with them this year.
The North. What's that? That's the Bengals.
We got the Bengals, the Browns, the Steelers, and the Ravens.
Ooh, well, no, that's a little bit. It's a little bit at the top's a little bit. So
I think we have a lock in this division. It's just on the bottom of it instead of the top of it this time, right?
Yeah. So I'll just start at the bottom. We already know
the bottom with the Browns.
The Browns are a hot mess.
Have been for a long time.
Yeah, and so they're going to be on their 77th and 78th starting quarterback at some point, maybe 79th.
Probably 79th too this year. Yeah, they're going to go through three, I think.
In the last 20 years. So we'll see how that goes. I don't really want to get into that. We already did the Parsons thing. So I'm sure Shadur's going to come up at some point during the season. So we'll have to. I'll circle back around on that.
I won't give my thoughts on Shadur because that has been a point of contention for both of us. I think Shadur is going to be starting.
The Browns are such a hot mess. It's going to come back around. We'll deal with him in week 8 or 9 or 10 or whatever when he's starting.
When he's the starter. Okay,
we'll figure that out. And then Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You want to go more?
I was going to talk about the Bengals next because they ended up.
I was going in order from bottom to top. So go ahead.
Where you think they're going to end?
I was just going to start at the bottom. Browns and then Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh next. Okay.
I think
if you say that, then you're assuming that both the Bengals and Ravens are going to have winning records this year because the Steelers will never go below 500. That's the rule.
Well, they have not yet. That's true.
Exactly. So if we're sticking to the rule, that means the Bengals and the Ravens are going to go above 500.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about the Steelers.
I do.
Let's talk about the Steelers.
Steelers. Again, it's another media driven soap opera because of the starting quarterback. Another one. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time there either. Everybody has their opinions on him.
DK's there though.
That's true, but Aaron's driven. He's held the league hostage with his behavior for so long. I just don't really want to get too far into that.
Yeah.
Again, I know it's going to come up. It's going to come up. We're going to have to talk about it at some point in the season. But for this first pod where we're talking about
We'll touch.
we're just touching on it. I don't really want to get into it. So DK
That's
Metcalf's
fair.
there, but I mean, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, then, okay. Let's talk about the Bengals then, because I think the Ravens are winning.
Bengals.
Let's do the Bengals. The Bengals are probably going to get second. Joey B and Jamar Chase, they're legit. One issue.
T. Higgins. God, what an offense!
Yeah.
What an offense!
Well,
Gosh,
there actually is a problem with the offense. It's called your offensive line. That
Okay.
part of the Bengals offense is struggling. It has been struggling. If they can't protect Joe Burrow this year, like they couldn't a couple years ago, and like they couldn't, and he gets hurt again, that team falls off a cliff again. Their defense is mid. It's mediocre. It's in the middle of the pack. I think. I don't think they're any better or any worse than anybody else.
They're actually trash. They're trash.
Well, yeah.
They're trash.
Oh, really? You think they're that bad?
Oh, they're trash. Go look at what happened last year. I mean, you can't.
Excuse you. But they just signed Trey Hendrickson again.
Yeah, they had him last year too.
I think they're going to be mediocre. I think they're going to be middle of the pack defense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that team is a team that is driven by the fact that their offense is so good. And if their offensive line cannot protect, like they have shown in the past that they can't do, the Bengals are going to end up in the same position they are at the end of every season, which is a winning team, but just a winning team. And then the Ravens.
Right.
Ravens are so good. By every measure. I'm a Lions fan, so over the past 5 years, I've gotten to watch, actually, throughout my entire time watching football, I've gotten to watch the Ravens kick my team's ass every year. Doesn't matter how good we are. Harbaugh's Hall of Fame coach, Lamar Jackson, we don't need to get into details, but he's the greatest quarterback of all time, according to everybody but us. So, Derrick Henry, Hall of Fame running back. Mark Andrews, Hall of Fame tight end, maybe. He could be up there for consideration. Yeah. It's just everything about that team is so talented. And then you go to the defense, and the defense is just as talented. It's a well-ran organization. Players, coaches, front office, all the way around. They're going to do just as good as they did last year. People predict they're going to the Super Bowl this year. I would agree. I think they are.
Oh, you're picking them for the Super Bowl. Okay, we'll get
on
into
the
that
AFC side. I am. Let's move to the AFC South, though.
Well, I'll put a bow on it real quick then. So the two divisions we just discussed have two teams who could be picked and have by a lot of people every year for the last 5 years since Josh Allen, Lamar have been there, and Patrick Mahomes has been in Kansas City.
Yep.
And yet the Bills with their talent and the Ravens with their talent cannot get out of the playoffs. I don't think the Ravens have won a game in the playoffs. So that's we'll see how that goes.
We'll talk about that.
One of those teams has to get there. Yeah.
We'll talk about it when we get to the end of the list. But that's how I feel about both teams. Let's move on to the AFC South, though. This is a fun one because I think it's 4 teams that we don't really know what's going to happen with them. Genuinely, I think Titans are at the bottom, followed by the Colts, followed by the Jags, followed by the Texans. That's where I think it's going to go. I think the only difference
Texans, Colts, Jags. Okay.
I think the only difference between last year and this year that's going to affect the rankings is going to be Jaguars are just going to bump right above the Colts, and the Colts are going to get 3rd. That's it. Titans are rebuilding since Vrabel left. Hopefully Cam Ward turns out better than the Will Levis experiment. That's really all I have to say about them.
So you got Titans last. And
then I have Colts next.
I'm sorry. And then the Colts are 3rd?
Yeah. Now you're gonna disagree with
Jacksonville.
me.
You got Jacksonville.
You're gonna disagree with me. Yeah. You're gonna disagree with me. Yeah. And feel free to, but I think the quarterback fiasco in Indianapolis is so bad. I think it's so bad, and it's going to destroy that team. Their defense is tremendous. It's a really good defense, but
they're a good team.
I think their quarterbacks are gonna fucking destroy their team. I do. And I know I'm picking a team that is supposed to be good to be bad, but one team that's supposed to be good has to be bad, and that's the team that I think is supposed to be good that's going to be bad. I just think Danny Dimes and Anthony Richardson are not the people you want slinging that rock. That's all I'm going to say. And
I don't think Richardson's going to be on the team a lot longer. It's really hard to be the number 1 overall pick and get benched in your second season. going through
For
what he's
Danny
been
Dimes,
through
mind
with
you.
some
For
of the
Danny
things he
Dimes.
said. Yeah, I know.
It's bad.
And
It's bad.
yeah, it's on them specifically though. Danny Dimes kind of got resurrected a little bit with where he's been since he left the Giants. Then where he's been, I've said some good things about him. He was with the Vikings, right, or was it the Rams?
Who?
I'd have to look
Dimes?
at that again.
The
Yeah,
Vikings.
Danny Dimes. Where did he
He went
go?
to the
Yeah,
Vikings
so
for a
yeah,
couple
so O'Connell
games.
had so O'Connell had some good things to say about him. I think it was a good spot for him to go to. Whether or not it resurrects his career, I don't know. I wouldn't go that far yet. I think you're right. The quarterback situation is not ideal in Indianapolis, but I think everything else around him is so much better than
that's
than
fine.
some of the other spots. Yeah, I hear a lot of people discussing that the Titans are gonna be decent or good, and that the Cam Ward is the leader in the building, and that he's saying all the right things. And I'll be honest, Cam Ward, from what I've seen in interviews and stuff, I really want to like him. I do like him, but I did watch him last year, and I watched him in preseason a little bit, and in all the discussions today, certainly as we open up the season, to me, I haven't heard anybody sort of have the same feelings I have with all the professionals and talking heads, really. And that is, I don't think he's going to work out. I'd look at him.
Wow.
I look at him as middle at best. I don't think he's going to crash and burn. It's not going to be a crash and burn situation.
He's not going to be a Richardson or a Jamarcus Russell.
Not going to be a Richardson or
did you not like the name I said?
Or Will Levis. Yeah, I went right by it. Or as a Will Levis.
Yep.
Or they just, who was the quarterback before Will Levis that went to
Tannehill? No.
Tannehill. No, it was after Tannehill.
Was with the Titans though. I don't know. There was a quarterback between Tannehill and there was.
Yeah. They traded him actually to Green Bay.
Malik Willis.
Malik Willis. Yeah.
Malik Willis.
I think Cam Ward's going to take more of the Malik Willis path.
So he's going to be mediocre and then be a backup.
He's going to be mediocre. He's going to fall and be a backup. Yeah, I really do. And for all the hype that he has, I just watched some of the decisions I saw him make, and I think overall, I think a lot of the decisions that he made are some of the hype people really latched onto. But there's some things I just don't like about it, and about his mechanics and some of the other things. And so I have some concerns. I have some concerns that I haven't heard anybody say. So that's sort of my preseason sort of bomb, if you will, that says I'm not jumping on board.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my controversy of the pod here.
That is the controversy. That's the one.
I think for me. Because I haven't heard anybody say anything. Everybody's in love with him. And you know what? I think, like I said, I generally, and you know this more than anybody, I'm generally a character guy. And so character means a lot to me. I really think it's important for me, especially in that position. I'm not going to go as far as our buddy Colin Cowherd and tell you that they have to wear their hats on straight all the time.
Yeah.
But I do feel like there is something there. And I think he has that piece. I just think he's going to fall short when the bright lights are turned on.
Okay.
And,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
so we'll mark that. And we'll come back and see in a couple months.
Weeks.
We'll revisit
personally, I don't think he's going to be like a superstar, but I do think he's going to be a good quarterback in the NFL. I don't think he's going to turn into a backup. I think he's going to be, a guy who keeps his job, who plays football well. I honestly, with all of the talk around character, especially in the quarterback position of this draft class specifically, I think he's probably the guy who has the best character of a lot of these guys. I think he'll be fine. He's not number one pick overall talent, but you rarely find a guy who actually is number one overall pick, talent. He's probably just going to need some years to develop. Hopefully he's not a dumpster fire like Levis, and that's how I feel about him. Now, when we move on to the Jaguars, I am being crazy for saying Jags over Colts. I know.
I think so, yeah.
I think the Jaguars have had a rough 4 years with a roster that should not be having a rough 4 years. I think this is Trevor Lawrence's year to prove that he is who he should be, which is the first overall pick, right?
That's a long leash you've given that guy.
Yeah,
what are we, 5? This is your
5
5?
years. This is his
They just
fifth
paid him
year.
what 200. They just paid him what 285 million last
That
year.
I think is stupid. They shouldn't have done that. I think they should have
Holy
given
cow.
him his 5th year option, and then it should have happened. It should have been his 5th year option, and then they should have decided. That doesn't
This
mean
is the year.
that
This
doesn't
is the year he's
mean
gotta prove
that
himself.
doesn't mean because they gave him the contract that I think it should have happened before. I think if you have a quarterback who has shown really good signs of being good but has not paid off yet, giving him 1 year a year on his 5th year option is fine. We'll see. I think Travis Hunter is a really awesome draft pick. I don't think he should have been drafted as high as he was. I don't think playing both sides of the ball can work in this day and age of football. Players hit harder, and they're faster, and they're stronger, and Travis Hunter is not going to be able to play both sides of the ball without something bad happening, right?
Hopefully not too bad, but
hopefully not too bad. But I think if you're having a guy run fucking go routes every play and then go, hey man, go play safety or cornerback wherever he's playing next
corner,
play.
Yeah, I think he's corner. Yeah.
He's gonna be gassed or both ways. Like he's in the position that has to run the most, both sides of the ball. You know, like it's a lot. Like hopefully it works out.
I'm interested to see the experiment. But
exactly.
I think that's what
Hopefully it works out, but it probably won't. And he'll just pick a position to play. Outside of that, again, I think the Jags roster is good enough to be decent, and it just hasn't worked. And I'm hoping, and then my thoughts on this here is that it's gonna work. I don't know why. I don't know. It's just a feeling I got. All I know is that they're not gonna win their division. All I know is they're not gonna win their division because the Texans are probably gonna do that one. But
yeah, I believe the Texans will do that one.
Yeah, if you want to, I mean, I could touch bases on the Texans real quick. I think they're the same as.
No, let's hit. Well, I get it real quick, and then we can move on.
Yeah.
C.J. Stroud is what? Is his third or fourth season? Fourth season? Third season?
He came
at any rate. He had
a year before.
He had the first year was phenomenal, right off the charts, especially after the way they talked about him with the stupid test he took, and it seemed like he didn't know what he was talking about for that dumb test.
Yeah, he played great.
Which I think we've since decided isn't really a test that decides a whole lot.
Determines anything. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so then he had that super great season. Last year was a little bit of a slump. It wasn't a slump, but based on the trajectory of the first year,
we can call it that.
A little bit of a sophomore slump, which we got to see firsthand. When we made it down there this year when the Lions played in Houston. That we got to see.
We did watch Houston firsthand. Their defense
really good.
Yeah, really good defense.
Yeah. So, and I don't think they've changed a whole lot. So I think that basically the rest of the division is right at or near a dumpster fire by team, and so almost by default, Houston's going to win 10 games and win the division. So
it's pretty simple. It's D'Amico Ryans is in his third year. It's the third year rebuild for this team. They're gonna just keep going with where they're at, right? Yeah. They're not changing much. So, they're doing their job. No. They'll win their division, but they're not gonna probably do much more, in my opinion. Let's move on to the most competitive division in the NFL.
Yeah.
AFC West.
Most competitive.
Most competitive division in the NFL. I mean, we can. Honestly, this one's all you, man. I don't know what we're gonna do.
I'm gonna get. All right, let's get through it. Let's get through it. I'm not gonna spend time.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Just you got this one. I'm not even gonna speak. It's all you.
So I think that one of the things that we'll prove on the podcast between you and I is that we can be okay with being real about our teams as well as the talents of other teams. Mm-hmm. We can separate sort of the fan from the analytics part of it and where we can be real. So the Chiefs are going to win the division. They are not going to fall off yet. No. I don't see that day coming just yet.
No,
I know
it's
that
next
year. There's definitely some fatigue from watching them for consecutively. What is it? 5 out of the last 6 years they've been in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean they have Taylor Swift matchup, right?
Yeah, and I'm gonna skip right on by that too. We can say that for a different day as well.
Okay.
But they're pretty much intact. Rashee Rice has the 6-game suspension to start off.
Yep.
Other than that, they're intact. I think they'll use Travis a little bit differently, and he'll get used less. So they'll be fine. So that's that. The rest of the division sort of looks interesting, and there's a lot of discussion, depending on who you're listening to and talking to, about the rest of the division. Harbaugh, second year with the Chargers. They lose that started that lineman, which has
Yeah.
drastically changed the outlook of the
Rashawn
team.
Slater, right?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
out.
Losing Slater was ginormous.
Yep.
Um, I have not looked super close into how they're replacing that, but I know that the odds makers and everybody who's talking about it says that that automatically takes them out of contention um, for the most part.
In their division or just in
And it,
well, I guess in general, right? I
just
mean,
in
if
general, yeah, yeah, almost. And so that's I think that's a little bit wild to me, as far as how far that that automatically, from what I'm hearing and what a lot of people are saying, takes
yeah,
them out of it. I don't know. I think they're still going to be a pretty decent team. When you have head coaches like Harbaugh's and Peyton's and Andy Reid's and Pete Carroll's, it's sort of hard to say you're just out of it based on one thing happening,
uh-huh.
And you'll probably get into that a little bit as far as the Lions last year. It's sort of what you're going to predict going forward, but sort of similarly,
Yeah.
the head coaches that have really good programs, one player, but that seems to be sort of what people are talking about. So
Yeah.
as far as the next three places, I what I'll say is this is that I think that the Raiders have a shot to be in second place, but I think they could also be in fourth place. And really, it's
Yeah.
going to be what happens in the second year of Harbaugh, what happens in Denver with Bo Nix. They have an awesome defense there in Denver.
Yeah.
Bo Nix had a far higher, better season, performed far better and higher than anybody expected.
Yeah.
Other than probably Sean Payton, who
Sean
drafted him,
Payton clearly
and
knew what he
that's who,
wanted and got it.
in
Yeah.
hindsight, that's kind of who he wanted.
Yeah.
And so, I think those teams kind of, we'll kind of see where they fall out. I
Yeah.
believe that the Raiders are a 10-win team, anywhere between a 9 and 11. So we'll kind of see what happens there. And I'm going to sort of reserve talking specifics on that division a whole lot. I do want to see the first couple weeks how they look.
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing specific I want to say about any of the teams in that division, but I do think in my head I can solidify more of what I think each team's ranking is going to be. I think the Chiefs are a lock at number 1. I think the Broncos are a lock at number 2. I do.
Wow.
Okay. I think Sean Payton has had 3 years to build the team the way he wants to be, or 2 years now, or 3. We're in year 3,
This
right?
is third. We're coming into 3.
So he's had 3 years to build this team to where he wants it to be. The first year he had to deal with a quarterback he didn't want. I'm not gonna say a shitty quarterback, but a quarterback he didn't want, and he got the guy he wanted. And so at this point, you're in year 3, Hall of Fame coach, and you've got the pieces in the building that you want. I think your team's gonna do great. I think the Broncos are a 12-win team or higher. Personally, I think they're a 12-win, and then
12.
I do think they're a 12-win team. Yeah, I think Chargers and Raiders are gonna be a toss-up. I think the Raiders are only looking up, and I think the Chargers didn't change very much at all. And they were an 11-win team last year. They were better than the Broncos last year. But I don't think there's anything really great to look forward to with them that you weren't looking forward to last year. I don't think there's anything new. I don't think there's anything that's bringing that team up. And I think the Raiders have a lot that's bringing them up this year. So, in my opinion, I think Raiders will go above the Chargers. But I just think that whole division is going to be 8 or 9 wins or above across the board. Like that's how good I think that division's going to be. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty. I think Broncos and Chiefs are kind of locks for the playoffs, and then we'll see what goes from there. Let's move it over to the other side of the league, and let's move on over to the NFC. We'll start with, I think, the NFC East, which is, Eagles, Super Bowl champs, Commanders, really young, super talented team, and then 2 shit shows. We've already talked about the Cowboys. All we need to do, I think the Cowboys and the Giants are going to be competing for last place in this division. Plain and simple, they will be competing for last place. I think the Cowboys have regressed, and I think the Giants have gotten some really nice new pieces. Dable is still their coach, and this is his deciding year. If Dable doesn't do it, he's gone. But I like the pieces they have in New York. And, I mean, Russ is going to be their starting quarterback. I don't know if Russ is going to continue to be their starting quarterback. I like Jackson Dart. I like their rookie running back from Arizona State, Scatabo. I don't think he's going to play a lot early on, but I think he will pay off. And we'll see where they go. The Cowboys, on the other hand, doesn't matter how talented or how much money you have, they consistently prove that that they're a mediocre team. So I think that's just going to continue to happen. Now, the interesting parts of this division are Washington and Philadelphia. Philly, defending champs. They're just good. They just are. They lose A.J. Brown. He is now a wide receiver for their division rivals, the Washington Commanders. I think it's going to be a bloodbath for that division this year. It's just like it was last year. I think both teams are 12-plus win teams. Who knows? This year, it might go in favor of Washington. They're just two teams with top 5 defenses, and they've got offenses that are crazy. Let's see what happens with them. I don't know if you have any thoughts about them. Feel free to let them in, but I think it's just a toss-up for first and second, a toss-up for third and fourth this year.
So you said something, and I guarantee you misspoke. A.J. Brown plays for who?
I said the Commanders. Who does he play for?
He plays for Philadelphia still.
Wait, who left?
Debo Samuel King went to
I'm
Washington.
sorry. I apologize. A.J. Brown still with the team. Debo went to Washington. Thank you for looking that up. Thank you for catching me. I apologize. Okay, Debo is with Washington now.
I know you knew that because we just did our fantasy draft.
We just did our fantasy draft when we did. I apologize.
And so I knew who you meant, but I had to make sure that
Thank you for correcting me.
Miss a breaking news across the bottom of my screen.
It doesn't change my opinion. I think
I agree. I agree with you. Philadelphia is by far the class of that. Washington's up and coming and very good. Very good. I think they're going to challenge, but I don't think they'll overtake.
It was a 2-game difference last year. It came down to the last week. So
yeah, and it might be that way again, but I think there is some differentiating things. I don't think Washington's quite there yet. But having said that, Dallas and the Giants are dumpster fires. Mm-hmm. And I think that a little bit, real briefly on the Giants, Jackson Dart will be the starting quarterback before Thanksgiving.
Yep,
it will be in hopes of saving the job of Dable. He wanted Jackson Dart. He's his guy.
Yeah,
and I think that if they look decent after Jackson Dart gets in, that he'll save his job. I don't think they have to go to the playoffs to save his job. I think that actually he bought himself a little bit of time
with drafting Dart. Yeah, I agree.
Drafting Dart, and I think that that they'll look better once he gets in, and that'll save his job. So that's on that division. So what do you got next?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. Next division, my favorite division to talk about. The second most competitive division in the NFL, the NFC North.
All right.
The Bears, the Packers, the Vikings, and Lions. Do you mind if I do what you did with your division?
Do it.
Quick, easy spiel. I'm not going to get into details. Yep. You can get into details if you want. Lions are number 1. Without a doubt. Packers are number 2. Vikings are number 3. Bears are number 4. Yep. I'll just hit it real quick, real nice. Lions have not changed much. Their team is just as solid as it was last year, and if there aren't any injuries, they're going to be as good as they were last year. I think the coordinator changes are not going to affect the raw talent and just the general, feel of the team. They play to, just gritty and hard, and like as long as they're doing that, I think they're going to be as good as they were. They're a 13+ win team in my mind. Packers have upgraded their team. They've gambled it all. I think they're just as competitive as the Lions, but they're a 12-win team to me. I don't think they're better. I think putting everything on Micah Parsons is not going to make you a winning team. The Vikings are in year 2 of the J.J. McCarthy experiment, but they're really in year 1. Super talented roster. They were a phenomenal team last year. It was a 1-game difference between them and the Lions. But not much has changed. All they're doing is throwing a rookie quarterback into the mix. And if, he doesn't play as good as Sam Darnold did last year, then they're not as good. And last but not least, the Bears. Complete rebuild. They're still working with Caleb Williams. Ben Johnson, in reports, has not been a guy who is changing the culture. In general, it sounds like it's a guy who is taking a team and trying to change it, but it's not happening. I think the Bears are maybe going to play better than they did last year because it's kind of hard to play worse, but I don't think they're going to be this super amazing team, and I don't think Ben Johnson is going to fix Caleb Williams. I think you have thoughts about Caleb Williams that you're going to express right now, so I'm going to leave them to you. Go for it, man.
Yeah. Well, so and sort of this real quick goes back to the Cam Ward thing and sort of where my values are a lot in players. Obviously, talent is sort of a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
But really who they are, especially in that position, as leaders and people who are gonna either have the presence to control the locker room and be positive and be somebody to rely on, whether it's by what they do and say or just what they do. I don't think he's the guy. I have had major concerns, not very positive thoughts about him as a player, as a person outside of his talent, going back to Oklahoma. And I've watched very closely, watched his behavior and sort of how he conducts himself.
Yeah.
It has not changed. It has not changed at all.
No.
I think that the Bears will be better than last year. I think that wherever you think of Ben Johnson or how he's doing as a head coach, he will be better than Eberflus.
Yeah,
even if
100%.
his skill set, even if his skill set as a head coach isn't any better than Eberflus, his offensive mind and what he brings to an offense will improve that side of the ball greatly. And so that's where the league's at. And so they'll improve simply because of that. I have heard a lot of the same things you have. I'm not sure that Caleb and him are getting along particularly well. I'm not sure that what's happening there is sort of what we like about our teams with the culture changes and sort of the head coaches and the administration and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't have high hopes for that. JJ McCarthy, we don't know. I mean,
he's looked good in the offseason. That's what reports say, is he looks good.
He hasn't thrown a pass in a regular season game since what? Did he even throw a pass in the last 2 games at Michigan? He handed the ball off a lot, so
I don't know. We won a championship. That's all I remember.
Right, and Michigan ran the hell out of the ball.
hell out of that ball. Yep, we did.
Sure did. Yeah,
and it was awesome.
So I mean, really, that just means I don't know. I mean, Harbaugh loved him, and that's great. We see a lot of guys that are good in college who are exactly whatever team they are on is needed, but don't necessarily pan out.
I think to sum up McCarthy, right? He's a system QB. If he's in the right system, he'll be really good.
And O'Connell's awesome. O'Connell in Minnesota is phenomenal at taking that and building it and being good. So we'll see. Yeah. I agree. Green Bay is second in the league. It does not hurt that they got Parsons. We'll see how much that is worth. I don't see Parsons being more than a half a game.
That is what you said. And I agree.
I think a half a game to maybe a game and a half, but I'm thinking a half a game to a game maybe in the win column.
Yeah.
And so that doesn't make them Super Bowl contenders to me. And the Lions are still the class. And I do think that losing Ben Johnson
it's going to affect them. I agree.
Specifically, however, the things that are the most important things are the culture. And Ben Johnson wasn't the culture builder. Dan Campbell was.
Dan Campbell's the culture builder.
I think that the front office and Dan Campbell will continue to build culture with not only who they bring in as coaches and how that sort of melts together, but the players as well. And so I don't think that there's going to be a drop off of 15 games last year.
We won 15 last year.
Yeah. So I don't see them dropping 5 games and going only 10 wins. It might not look as exciting. It might not be the fireworks.
No, we might not look as exciting. But I think there's a big change for the Lions, and it's going to be their defense is going to play a lot better, and their offense is going to be not as exciting, and that's going to be the difference. Yeah. But I wouldn't mind a well-balanced football team. That seems like a good idea. So let's move on to the NFC South. Sure. We've got a fun show here. It's about the let's just Buccaneers, Falcons, Panthers, and Saints. Like let's rip the Band-Aid on this one too. Buccaneers are going to win their division.
All I heard was Buccaneers. Yeah,
Buccaneers are going to win their division. And then the bottom,
I see some crazy.
It's going to be a toss-up.
I see some crazy talk about Atlanta being super good. I don't know.
Everybody's high on Atlanta. I mean, let's talk about Atlanta. We don't need to talk much about the Bucs. Bucs haven't changed much. They're a really solid football team. Todd Bowles still their coach, right? Really talented head coach. I mean, Baker's great. He's got Chris Godwin and Mike Evans on his team.
We can pen Mike Evans in for 1,000.
Yeah, like again. as 11 seasons straight. Let's make it 12. Like it is a solid football team. Their defense is great too. Let's move to the Falcons because that's all the talk, right? I don't know why. all of a sudden everybody thinks the Falcons are going to be great. They went 8-9 last year, right? They almost went 500. Like, I don't think Michael Penix is going to change much about their team. I really liked him in college, and I was really high on him. I wanted him to go to the Raiders last year, but the Falcons decided that they were going to fuck all that up. I think Penix is going to be a good QB. Is he going to be good enough to make the Falcons superstars? No. No. Let's be honest. Everybody every year says Bijan's going to be a superstar, best running back in the league. They're saying it again this year. Every year that's not been true. He's a great catching running back, but he hasn't been a great running back in comparison to the people that people are trying to compare him to. Saquon has been better. Derrick Henry's been better. Jahmyr Gibbs has been better. He's a great, talented running back, but he's also not a piece that's going to make your team amazing, because we've seen that in the last 3 years that he's been in the league. Kyle Pitts, senior now. He's a senior now. Just want to let you know. That's a new updated thing. Kyle Pitts Sr. is still Kyle Pitts Sr. All these pieces on your offense that are supposed to be these amazing, awesome pieces are either unproven or are proven to be mediocre at best. I mean, Bijan's a talented running back. He is. But Bijan is not the best. Again, I'm not going to say Bijan's mediocre, but Bijan is not proving to be the best running back in the league every year. Maybe he will be this year. No. Hopefully he will be. I'd like to see him pay off. I like him. Yeah, and I don't even want to talk about their defense because I don't know what to talk about with their defense.
No, moving on.
Panthers have added pieces, and they've lost some pieces. Underwood has shown signs of potentially being good at the end of last season. He picked up a bit. What makes or breaks that team is if Underwood plays the way he was playing in the back half of last season, rather than how he was playing in the front half. Their defense still is not that great, and that's that. Do you have anything you want to add to the Panthers?
You're referencing Young, the quarterback?
Sorry, not Underwood. Yeah, Young.
Okay.
Bryce Young.
Gotcha.
Bryce Underwood, Bryce Young. I was watching college football today. It's Saturday, first game of the year. Bryce Young, not Bryce Underwood. I'm sorry. Right. But yes, Young had a good second half of the season.
I got you. We're on the same page.
Let me clarify, yes. And then the Saints are a shit show. You want to talk about the Saints?
No, you can move on.
Saints are a shit show.
Yeah, they're just a shit show.
Maybe Taysom Hill will score a bunch of touchdowns this year in 5 different positions. Otherwise,
really the only reason to watch the Saints this year is to see what Kellen Moore does. We'll see what he can do. You know, they named the starting quarterback Spencer Rattler, and I mean, since
the Raiders got to experience Rattler
Caleb,
last year, right?
Huh?
The Raiders got to experience Rattler last year, right? A little bit.
No.
Who did you guys have?
He's been on the Saints.
Rattler was on the Saints the whole year. Who was the guy you guys experienced last year?
Rattler hasn't played. Well, we had O'Connell, Minshew.
Who was the guy? Oh,
I'm not sure.
Sorry, I'm taking a second here. We'll cut this in post. We'll cut this in post.
Sure.
Who did you guys have in last year?
We had who the Falcons drafted,
which was
I can't remember his name either.
You guys had a QB who I keep thinking is Rattler, but it's not Rattler. Either way, back to the Saints. Rattler's the starting QB. Oh, you're looking it up too now.
Desmond Ridder.
Desmond Ritter. Rattler and Ridder, guys. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm getting confused.
Ridder, yes, we did have Ridder. We did have Ridder. Yes. But no, I'm talking about Rattler. Rattler hasn't been good. He was playing. He was good at Oklahoma until he wasn't, and then that was when he got taken over. That was when what's his name took over. Now you can cut all this out. Now, yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm not cutting all of it out, but leave it in.
I don't know.
Either way, Rattler's yikes. That's what we're saying. We think Rattler's yikes. Maybe he proves us wrong.
Rattler's yikes. The only reason to watch the Saints, going back to really to get you, the only reason to watch the Saints is to see what Kellen Moore does with Spencer Rattler and that offense. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a project, and we'll see if Kellen Moore's up to it. So we'll see. Moving on, what's the next one? Last
NFC
division.
West.
Okay, what do we got?
Los Angeles Rams, Seattle Seahawks, the Cardinals, and the 49ers.
Yeah.
Here's my thoughts. Quick and
Okay.
easy. It's going to go Rams, Seahawks, 49ers, and Cardinals. It's going to be a really competitive division, though. You have mentioned it recently that the 49ers defense is in shambles. It is worse
They
than
lost
it
a
was.
lot.
They lost a lot, yeah.
Yeah, they just lost a lot.
I think the Niners had a out of character season last year. I think that they're as good as they were the season before. I mean, they're not, but like I think they're a good football team. I think all of these teams are 10 could potentially have 10 wins.
Wow.
Some of them I think are going to have more than 10 wins, and some of them I think might have a little bit less. I think the Cardinals and 49ers are going to be about on par in competitiveness this year, and I think the 49ers are going to eke them out. I like the Niners roster. I'd like Deebo Samuel leaving more than I liked him staying on that team. Now that I've remembered the correct name, I think Deebo Samuel caused a lot of problems for that offense because he was such a diva and had bad character. So I think with him gone, the offense is going to be more of a team-oriented offense and not a Deebo Samuel wants the ball offense. The Cardinals have Kyler Murray at QB. In comparison to Brock Purdy, I think it's rough. Kyler Murray has been in the league for a while now, and he's not had a year that makes me think, wow, this guy's awesome. Every year that he's played, I've thought, wow, this guy has character issues and is really short and could be better. They do have a really cool team though. Trey McBride projected to be one of the best tight ends in the league. Marvin Harrison Jr. really great wide receiver, supposed to be. They've got pieces. The run game kind of sucks in my opinion, and I think their defense is on par with the Niners. So we'll see where they go. Now we can get into the real conversation, which is the Rams and the Seahawks. Rams added some pieces, lost some pieces. They're going to be better than they were last year. And they're finally out of that. We fucked our whole thing up for the Super Bowl win thing. They figured that out. After 4 years, I think they're kind of back on that come up. And they've been competitive the whole time that they've been dealing with that. And now they're out of it. So, and then I think Seattle is actually going to be really fun this year. I like Sam Darnold at QB. I like the things that are changing. I mean, you lose DK, and that sucks. But they have a lot of great pieces, a lot of solid pieces, and I think they're gonna do pretty well. You probably have more in-depth thoughts about the Rams and Seahawks, so I'll let you go for it.
I just want to clarify. So you're a Darnold believer?
I am.
After what you saw last year.
What do you mean? He played really well last year, and then
that's not what I'm saying. He resurrected. What I'm saying is
I do.
What he built last year, you think he's going to go?
Listen, you get drafted by the Jets and you play for the Jets, your life's going to suck. The 100%. Jets are not great.
100%.
And I think Sam Darnold, yes, was in the Vikings position, which we already discussed, do really great with system QBs. But I don't think exactly. I don't think Sam Darnold is a bad quarterback. And I think he's going to be on a team with very similar talent to the Vikings this year. Probably the Vikings are more talented but he's going to be on a team with a pretty talented roster.
He's not throwing to Jefferson anymore.
No, he's not. I agree. But also, I don't think, Jefferson is the entirety of the Vikings. I think he's going to be fine. I will. I think he's going to regress from his super awesome season last year, but I don't think he's going to be bad. I don't think he's going to be, significantly worse than Matthew Stafford. I think Stafford's on his way out. I do. I think he's playing his contract out, and then he's going to say bye. So that's how I feel about it. I believe in him. I think he's going to be a decent QB. I don't think he's going to be awesome, but I think he's going to be decent enough.
Yeah, well, I sort of asked you that question knowing, and you know this too.
What?
That I've liked Darnold since he played at USC.
Since he played at USC.
I was disappointed in sort of what happened in New York. And it was sort of a tough thing to watch. But I've always thought Darnold was good. I had to temper my thoughts about him a little bit as I watched over the years. Mm-hmm. He's not the good that can walk into any situation and fix it or make it significantly better. Yeah. But in a decent situation, he can be a very good quarterback. So I think he'll be fine with what's going on in Seattle right now. But I agree. I'm not sure. It's really hard to tell on the Rams. Gosh, it's so hard to bet against Stafford and McVay and that group. And so I think I'd probably lean the same way. Rams, Seahawks,
And then Cardinals and Niners are a toss up. I like the Niners more, but
Gosh, yeah,
it's
I don't know. And
I don't know.
I like Purdy, and
do.
I like what's going on there. It's hard to bet against them,
Yeah,
but they lost a lot on defense this year.
true.
And I know that Purdy had a really surprising first year, especially considering where his draft
Mr.
was.
Irrelevant.
But he definitely fell off a lot last year, and he's
Yeah.
acknowledged that in the interviews he's done recently. That he really acknowledged that he sort of needed to make some changes.
I
in
think
sort of how he was approaching the game. So I think they'll be better too. But no, I think that it's going to be a fight for third and fourth, and we'll
yeah.
just see
I mean,
how
I
it goes.
think
So, yeah.
I think we're a lot of this discussion is ending as how a lot of ours are ending, which is we look back to the organization as a whole and the front office and the culture. And I like the culture in the 49ers more than I like the culture of the Cardinals. I do. So I think that's where we're. I mean, and it's the same with the Rams and the Seahawks discussion. I think we like McVay more than we like what's going on with the Seahawks. So that's just where it's at. And, I mean, that's it. So we've discussed it. I can throw all of our division predictions back up right now. Man, if I don't, I'm cutting all this. But if I do, they're here. You're looking at them. Wow, there it all is. 32 teams on the screen at one time. Crazy.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our last segment. This is something me and you have done every year. Every year for a long time now. We have personally done a head-to-head pick'em fantasy league against each other. 1v1, just me and him competing against each other. I think overall, over time, I don't have the exact records, but we've been pretty even for the most part. I think I've fallen off the last couple of years, but we've actually been pretty competitive with each other, which is kind of funny because I'm not smart when it comes to football. I think you are the football mind. I think I pick mostly with my heart and not with my brain. So, but yeah, we do this every year. We have a pick'em. There's going to be nice fancy graphics. It's going to look super awesome for you guys. For us, it's just a spreadsheet, but I mean, we're just going to get into it. We have a very simple rule set. We pick each game's winner straight up, who's going to win the game, and then we pick each game's winner against the spread. It's going to be plain and simple. We'll start with the straight up picks, right? So, and we're just going to go down the list in order of what games happen first and last. So, first game of the season, Cowboys v. Eagles. I have the Eagles. What do you have?
I as well have the Eagles.
We both have the Eagles.
Yep.
I mean, pretty straightforward. Cowboys are a shit show, and the Eagles are the defending Super Bowl champs, and they're playing at home. Game number 2, the Chiefs at the Chargers in Sao Paulo. I have the Chiefs.
I believe, the Chiefs.
You do have the Chiefs as well, yeah. Same thing. Super Bowl team. We both agree they're the best. They're the best team in their division, and Chargers are working on stuff. They're still gonna be good, but Chiefs are gonna win, and it's not really a home game. Bucks versus the Falcons. I have the Buccaneers.
I think we know that one.
Yeah, we discussed our teams. We know this. Bucks are no contest. Falcons are. Bengals Browns. Another simple one, I think. I got the Bengals. Yep.
Bengals.
Same thing. Bengals are proven. Browns are not. Dolphins, Colts at Colts. I got the Colts.
Easy.
Yeah, I don't think it's easy for me, but I mean, when I look at it, it's the Colts are better. Panthers, Jags, Jaguars. What do you have?
Did I take the Panthers?
No, you took the Jags.
I think I took the Jags.
You took the Jags. We have them on the side. I already know what you picked. Yeah, he picked the Jags too. Once again, it's a battle of two shit shows, and I like one shit show better than the other. Raiders at Patriots. This is a contentious one because the Patriots are favored to win, but I have the Raiders.
I as well have the Raiders.
I think playing in New England is hard, but I think I've bet on the Raiders to beat the Patriots every year that the Raiders have played the Patriots. I don't know how much that's worked out, but I like the Raiders. They're in rebuild mode, and they're in a good spot in their rebuild, in my opinion. Cardinals at Saints. Cardinals. Yep. Not a shit show versus a shit show, right? It's just simple and easy. Steelers at Jets. I have the Jets here. I do. I am confident in the Jets here. You have the Steelers.
I took the Steelers.
This is our
Yay.
first difference.
Well, that's our first one. Okay.
This is our first difference in this pick, and I think the Jets are going to come out and prove some people wrong. I think Aaron Rodgers is a shit show, and I think he's still going to be a shit show. And he's playing against his former team, and I think they want nothing more than to prove that he's a shit show. That's my thoughts. Giants at Washington, at the WTFs, as we like to call them. Pretty simple.
Okay, keep it moving.
I think, yeah. Titans at Broncos. Another little chuckle, I think, for both of us.
Broncos.
Straightforward Broncos. Niners at the Sea Chickens. Sea Chickens.
I got chicks for me.
Yeah, I think the Sea Chickens are going to win. I think the Niners defense is in too rough of a spot, and the Seahawks are just going to win at home. Lions at Packers. Ooh.
We got Lions.
I have the Lions. Quick little excerpt on this one. The odds for both the division and this game have changed so much into the Packers' favor because of Micah Parsons. I think this division is a toss-up, but the Lions are better, and I think it's crazy that Micah Parsons shows up, and then all of a sudden the Packers are a way better team. I have the Lions. He has the Lions. Let's move on to Texans at Rams, our second difference. I have picked the Rams.
I got Titans. Texans.
Yeah, I hope you don't have Titans.
Yes, Texans. Sorry, misspoke.
Yeah, I mean, go for it. Say your piece, because I think the Rams are a lock in this game.
Yeah, man, it's hard, right? Because we talked about the Rams potentially winning that division, but I don't know. With Matthew Stafford being hurt and I did losing Darnold. I don't know.
Or not Donald. Donald.
Yeah. So just I don't know. I feel like they've been on the edge for the last couple of years. I mean, really since that Super Bowl year that they won.
Yeah.
I feel like it's Band-Aids and gauze and just holding it all together.
Yeah.
And so really you're betting on an aging Stafford and McVay. So I'm gonna stick with Houston.
You're stick with the young guys?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I still think there's ascending, so I'm gonna go with them.
Cool. All right. Next one, Ravens at Bills. It's a fun one.
Oh man,
fun one.
This is a tough one, right?
I picked the Bills.
I think I picked the Bills too, and I think that's just because they're at home. They're at home.
Yeah, this is a game where it's both teams are at home, or it's whatever team's at home that I think is going to win.
Yeah.
They're two of the best teams in their conference, two of the best teams in the league. Although the Ravens are, in my opinion, the Super Bowl favorites for that conference, I do think the Bills just win this game at home. And last but least in my opinion, Vikings at Bears. Vikings at Bears. Let's talk about it.
Well, I have the Vikings.
I do too.
Yeah.
That's all we need to talk about it, guys. That's simple. We discussed our teams already.
There we go. Let's get quickly through the spread ones then.
Let's get quick through the spread.
Yep.
Back to the top of the order. Cowboys at Eagles. Eagles are favored by 7. I picked the Eagles.
What did I pick?
You also picked the Eagles. We both picked the Eagles. Yeah, I think it's going to be a blowout. Chiefs at Chargers. Chiefs favored by 3 here. We both picked the Chiefs to win and cover. Bucks at Falcons. Bucks are favored by 1.5. That, in my opinion, is a given. We both don't believe the Falcons are going to be a great team. So, Bengals at Browns. Bengals favored by 5.5. I mean, come on. They're going to win by a touchdown,
easy there.
right?
Bengals again. Yeah, they're going to cover.
Dolphins at Colts. Colts are favored by 1.5. We both picked the Colts to win, and by 1.5 points, I feel like is a given for us as well.
Yep. Colts.
Panthers at Jaguars. You picked the Jaguars to cover their their 3-point spread. I picked the Panthers to cover. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a 1-point game. So I've picked the Panthers to lose to the Jaguars by 1 point. Raiders at Patriots. We both picked the Raiders to win, and the Patriots are favored by 3. So we both picked the Raiders.
We got that.
Yep. Cardinals at Saints. The Cardinals are favored by 6.5. We both picked the Saints to cover it. We think the Saints are going to lose by less than a touchdown.
Yep.
Steelers at Jets. Steelers are favored by 3. I picked the Jets to win, so I have to pick the Jets here. You have the Steelers covering.
I did.
Yep. Giants at Washington. Washington's favored by 6. I think Washington's going to blow them out. You agree?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, and then we move on to Titans at Broncos. We have a difference here. You've picked the Broncos to cover by -8 or by 8. I'm sorry, and I have
Broncos are favored by 8.
The Broncos are favored by 8, and you picked the Broncos.
And I picked the Broncos.
Cover, yes. I have picked the Titans to cover this. I don't think the Broncos are going to win by more than a touchdown. I think it'll be within that. It's the NFL. It's rare there's a blowout, and I can't bet on 4 blowouts happening every week. So
I guess I'm sticking with my Cam Ward predictions then.
You are. Niners at Sea Chickens. Niners are favored by 2.5. We both picked the Seahawks to win, so we're both picking the Seahawks to cover. Lions at Packers. Once again, we both picked the Lions to win, and the Packers are favored by 2.5, so it's got to go to the Lions. Texans at Rams. Rams are favored by 2.5. I picked the Rams to cover. You have the Texans winning, so Texans have to cover there. And then two more teams. Bills, Ravens. Bills are favored by 1.5. We both picked the Bills. It's a 1.5 point game. We think they're going to win by at least a field goal, right? And then last but not least, Vikings at Bears. It is a 1.5 point spread in favor of the Vikings. We both think the Vikings are going to be a lot better than the Bears, so we both picked the Vikings. Yeah. And that's that. I mean, I guess we're here at the end now, so some final words. First of all, I think that our fantasy segment every week is probably going to change. I think, this is week 1. It's our week 0, right? So we discussed every team in depth, right? Yeah. As we get further on into the season, as we get into games happening in the season, we're going to discuss every team probably during our fantasy segment. So I think next week our fantasy segment's probably going to get a little bit longer, because that's when we're gonna really talk in depth about teams, and we're gonna focus more on specific stories for the league, rather than just talking about every team in depth like we did today. But yeah, so thanks for coming along and watching if you did.
Absolutely.
We had fun. We hope you liked the show.
We had fun. Is that what this was?
I had fun. Did you not have fun?
I had fun.
Okay, good. I was hoping you would. Thanks
Cardinals.
Again for watching. Next week's gonna be a little bit different, but we hope you stick around and enjoy it. Once again, I'm Michael, and
I'm Mike.
He's Mike, and we're just two vits talking shit. See ya.